Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com. Disclaimer: Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
Today we have a legend in the building, John McAfee himself. It's an honor as somebody who's been a big fan even prior to crypto. I think all of us know who McAfee is from using McAfee antivirus and having that protect us from the internet and viruses and all that, especially as a techie. And now he's also very pro crypto and he really evangelized the space. And now we have a chance to sit down with him and really get to know him, who the person is, his story, his journey, and how he's been really evangelizing and changing the technology space and also crypto as a whole. So McAfee, welcome to the 100 Show. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the chance to talk to the world and through you to whoever might be listening, whether it be one person or 10 or 100, it doesn't matter.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So let's start with, who is John McAfee? Assume you're talking to people who maybe are not techies or maybe they just got into crypto. So who are you as a person? Kind of give us the story, then we'll dive deeper into it.
Well, let me tell you just my current circumstances, and we can work backwards. You can ask questions. Currently, my wife and I, Janice, are in hiding from U.S. authorities for my refusal to file income tax returns for 10 years. Now, they've known that for 10 years. I've told them I'm not filing ever again. I've already paid $50 million over that in taxes I have not received. $50 million in services from my country. Not doing it anymore. Income taxes are unconstitutional, I believe, and so do many of the libertarians in the Libertarian Party. I mean, it's clearly in the Constitution, it's clearly forbidden, and yet we have one. So I'm not participating in that charade anymore. Now, they left me alone until I started going on the international stage and talking about how you can use cryptocurrency and privacy coins to not pay taxes too. If you do everything in crypto, why? Because why not? If you believe as I do they're illegal and wish there were a way to avoid them, I said, okay, well, here it is. I'm not saying do it. I'm saying if we were going to do it anyway, this is how. Well, then they, on the 22nd of January of 2019, the IRS filed or convened a grand jury to charge Janice and I with multiple counts of tax fraud and what have you, which is all nonsense. All utter nonsense. I just haven't filed returns. That's not illegal, people. We're talking about it on the national stage and telling others not to do it. Apparently that is. I'm not sure. But it didn't stop me, and I'm still doing it. So we're currently in hiding. No one knows where we are. But for 6 months of last year, we were not. We left for the Bahamas, where there is no income tax, very openly, and told the world where we were. The CIA and local authorities there tried to stage a raid to collect me and charge me with bogus charges so that I could be extradited, because Bahamas has no income tax and therefore not paying it, not a crime. So we escaped 6 hours before they arrived, went to Cuba. We were there a month and a half, and the Cuban government called Janice and I in and said, the U.S. government has asked for your returns, and we're disinclined to cooperate. But to avoid any embarrassment for Cuba, we asked you to leave within 72 hours. And we did on our yacht. Went to the Dominican Republic. We were arrested instantly. We didn't, before we could even go through customs, we were arrested. And they said, you've got to go back to America. Well, maybe. I hired lawyers, two of them, got us to England, and that's the last people knew where we were. And I told Jen, I said, listen, honey, we can't run forever. We can't. So let's just go into hiding for a year or two. This is what we did. Now this is heaven on earth. We can't have telephones. Obviously, we got no phones, but we do have a very sophisticated internet connection that can't be traced. And for about 7 months, we've been really enjoying ourselves, relaxing, having breakfast, sitting on the side of the Black Sea, and getting what tiny amount of sun there is in summertime, about 12 seconds a day right now, but and just enjoying. And
so, quick question. So, one thing I guess this kind of surprises me. So, the American government can go after people not paying taxes abroad and extradite them?
Yes.
Okay, because my understanding was they would be in violation, but I didn't know they actually spent money chasing people across outside the U.S. to pay taxes.
Yes. And all the money that people make outside the U.S., if you're a U.S. citizen, you have to pay U.S. taxes on. Do you understand these people? Only two governments in the world do that. One is Eritrea, and the other is the United States. Please, there's something wrong with this picture, folks. America is the bully of the world. I just refuse to be bullied anymore.
Right, understandable. Okay, so let's kind of back. How did you become successful or make your money in the tech space?
Like everybody did. I had no plan. Listen, people think that you get a product idea, figure out how to build it, and you'll make money. Nobody in the history of the world has ever done that, including Bill Gates and Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. I know all these people, and John McAfee. None of us had a plan. None of us was trying to make money. Mm-hmm. We were just hanging. How did I get started? Okay, so my brother-in-law called me and said, good Lord, have you seen this? There's this thing about a computer virus. Well, I would have heard that word before. It says in the San Jose Mercury News, get a copy and read it. So I went out, bought a copy, read it, and go, this is insane. A program able to replicate itself, to hide, to try to survive and move from one computer to another. That's clever stuff. So I got a copy of it from MIT, a friend of mine at MIT, sent it to me electronically. I took it apart and I go, and it was clever. Oh my God, it was so clever. The way it was a living program. It had only one purpose: to replicate, survive, and multiply. And that's what that sucker did. So, but I very quickly saw how it was done, and very quickly saw how you could stop it, wrote a little program, put it up on my bulletin board. And I was living in Silicon Valley in Santa Clara. I had the largest bulletin board in Silicon Valley at that time. I put it up on the board. A week later, I had 10 million users.
wait, hold on. So,
and that's how I started.
What time was this? What,
1987, 1988. 1987 actually is when it started.
I was born
so in 1987, I just wrote a program. I had no idea it would make money. Mm-hmm. I just saw, this is here. I said, hey guys, this new thing, computer virus. And listen, I've always been known as a technologist. That's all I've ever done. And here, anybody who's worried about this computer virus thing, this kills it, fixes it, puts it back together. And 1 month later, the second computer virus came out called Jerusalem, based on a different architecture. I created one for that, and that was the beginning of the company. Now, people were sending me, I got just all kinds of checks. It was freeware. I never charged anything. Why would I charge anything for work? It makes no sense. So I didn't. I did put a note that this is only for individuals. If you're a government or a corporation or an agency, you better call us for site license. Well, we were getting calls all the time because people were taking it freely home and then taking it freely into the office. And then the very first audit, my first big check was Ford Motors. got a panic call saying, we did an audit, found 55,000 copies of your software on our computers. They go, well, don't worry about it. Just take it off and audit the removal. Well, that costs about $400 per computer to audit the removal of software from a legal standpoint. I said, or, I don't know, give me $5 per computer. That's $250,000. They sent me a check for $250,000. That was my first sale.
Wow.
And that was the smallest. That was one of my small sales. And that was for 2 years. That was only a site license, 2 years. Pay it again in 2 years if you want to renew. That was a lot cheaper than taking it off the machines, I promise you, and auditing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't plan any of that. None of you can't plan success. People, please. What is success? It is having the balls, the courage to grab opportunity when it goes by, knowing it is going to change your life. You're going to have to quit your job. You may starve. Your wife may leave you, and your children may be taken away. Are you willing to risk that? Few are, which is why few are rich people. You have to risk everything. I worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop for 3 years in order to be successful. And I wasn't doing it for success. I was doing it because I just loved what I was doing. I was in a war with virus writers. Well, that was exciting, an adventure, a challenge, real life war. That's why I did it. Getting rich was just an ancillary thing I had no control over. If people you think you can come up with an idea, build a product, and make money, you're foolish, naive, and you should get back to work, working for whoever you're working for, because the world doesn't work like that. Everybody has opportunities. All of you couldn't do it. And the opportunities, I promise, are slipping by your nose every day, and you know it. But you also know that grabbing it, you're going to lose your job. You're going to risk losing everything, including your family, your friends, your respectability. Are you willing to do that? If not, don't try to get into business. You fail people, there is no safe way to do so. There is no safe way to get rich. You jump on the roller coaster as it screams by you, or you don't. But no, you think Bill Gates, let me tell you how Bill Gates got rich, okay? Now, this is a story I know full well. I was there at this time and I knew Bill Gates. And there were two companies that had operating systems that would run on the Intel 8080. I think that was the first one that the IBM used for the IBM PC. IBM, smart move, made their architecture open. Apple, stupid move, made their architecture closed. This is why Apple is 400 years behind Android and Samsung in every respect, people. So, open architecture closed. We learned in the 60s, never close an architecture, it will die. You open it, meaning everybody knows everything you're doing, Apple, and we're all joining in the party. So Android has 5 million programmers. It's an open architecture. Build what you want for that motherfucker, but not Apple. So that's another story. So anyway, IBM PC. So now, IBM, Apple came out first, by a few months. IBM going, no one is going to beat us, the computer god of the world. So they build hardware just like that. Overnight, they can build a computer. Software, difficult, time-consuming, and questionable. There were two operating systems. One, Digital Research in Santa Monica, California. The other, Microsoft, up in Washington, the state of in Seattle, in Washington. By far, Digital Research was the better operating system, which is why IBM went there first. Arrived 9 o'clock in the morning, talked with the head of Digital Research, offered them the following deal. Listen, give us your operating system. We're not going to pay you a dime, ever. However, Our customers will have to go to you for all their updates. You will own the software for every IBM machine. Are you interested? The guy did some research, said no. They packed up, flew up to Washington, got a meeting with Bill. Bill saw the beauty of that would make him a billionaire in short order. He said, yes. Did he plan that? He's sitting in his office going, let's see. Here's what I'm planning. I'm planning on IBM going to my competitor and him fucking up and coming up to me. No. He was sitting in a basement with not a dime to his name. And some people came in and he was smart enough to see that this was the deal of the century. So that's how he got rich. You name somebody, Steve Jobs, Larry Ellison, nobody has a plan, people. Nobody ever has a plan. Not in technology. Yeah, and growing wheat, you bet. Building houses, oh, you bet.
So
Better have a plan there.
They're in the right place at the right time, and opportunity comes and they just grab it.
No, but everybody's in the right place at the right time. This is what I'm saying. I could have picked up 1,000 other, having looked back on it, and 10 years earlier done the same thing. It's just I was afraid, wasn't willing to risk starvation, because you have to. You want to get rich, you'd better risk starvation. That's
I
what
remember that. I mean,
risk.
So Jim Collins has a book called From Good to Great, where he says most people don't achieve greatness because they're not willing to give up what's good and comfortable to take back to possibly achieve something great. And it's
yes, and what's comfortable? What's comfortable is the same wife and family, a job that pays you a decent salary that you know every month you're going to get, a house that's warm in winter and cool in the summer, a car to drive your sorry ass to and from work. No, you had better be risk to lose all of that, including the family. Nobody keeps their family after success. It is not possible, people. Not possible. You name a single person that started out with a family and with that family had success and they're still together. It doesn't exist. You want success? Can your family and your friend and risk losing everything else.
Did the same thing happen to you with your family? Did you have a family before?
Of course. Duh. It happens to everybody. Okay, please. I just said success is not free. It can't ever be free.
Okay, I think
because it is world changing, which is world changing that you are attached to, is 1,000 times more life changing for you. You can't keep a family, you can't keep a job, you can't keep your car, you can't keep your house. All of these are going to be question marks. Maybe you will be that workforce and the family's still with you. Cool. But if you're counting on it and making sure your decisions include that, you'll succeed. Every decision must be, I could lose everything on this.
Okay.
And make that decision. That's the one you want to make.
So back to McAfee antivirus. So what was it like growing that? And then eventually you sold it, I believe, or you had an exit?
Well, no, we took it public in 1990. I don't know, it had $1 billion valuation when I left. And I was bored. When I started out, I was fighting virus writers, and I was doing the work and working 18 hours a day and loving it. Suddenly, we're a big success. I'm spending time with stockholders, board of directors meetings, personnel problems, 5,000 people working for me, and I don't know the names of 95% of them. I didn't want that. I just walked off.
So what exactly do you mean walked off? Like you just...
No, I just walked off.
You just walked off.
I didn't even pack up my office. I walked into my car, drove to Santa Cruz, grabbed my wife, called the board of directors and said I resigned, and we went to Mexico for half a fucking year.
Wow, that's crazy.
I walked off.
Now, are you still a shareholder in the company?
That would be information I would not want to divulge me.
Okay, all right. That's fair, I guess. Very interesting. So you just packed up, well, I guess you just grabbed your wife and just went to Mexico. Why Mexico?
Went to Mexico because you could not contact me. They had no cell service back in 1990 in the Baja Peninsula. No, because they could not come and say, no, you're coming back. First of all, you can't find me. And number two, you can't call me. And number three, I just quit. So fuck you people.
Okay, so very interesting. Now, what are you currently doing now after so after you stepped down, you quit, you began traveling the world, you began getting into crypto. What happened next?
Well, I started a whole bunch of companies. I started Zone Labs. I made $400 million off Zone Labs. After that, I started Tribal Voice. After that, I started a dozen other companies.
What's that?
McAfee made me no money. I got a couple of $100 million off of McAfee. Nothing. I spent that in the first year after we left. Because I got nothing to spend. No, nothing. I made $400 million on Zone Labs. I sold Tribal Voice for $170 million. Please God, no. I'm known for McAfee because I stupidly called that company McAfee. That's why I have over 200 lawsuits to my credit. People trip and fall on my property. In fact, people drive states to trip and fall on my property so they can sue me for $10 million. And that's happened more times than I can count. Oh, no.
So what's Zone Labs? You mentioned it was a company you formed after. What exactly did that do? Was that also security? Or
it was a security guard. We sold it. Okay, we co-founded that in 1991. Sold it in 1992 to Checkpoint Systems for $480 million. That was a sizable, for 18 months work wasn't bad. Tribal Voice is my play toy. We had the first instant messaging system. And just Google it. I mean, I have too many companies to even begin to name. In Belize, I had 7 companies in Belize, coffee companies and cigar companies, the water sports companies. I had the largest ferry service on the west coast of the Caribbean. No, I'm always doing something. Can't stay still. Why? Because I still take opportunities, people. An opportunity comes by. And I'll say, God, Janice, if I pick this up, we may split up. You don't take it. I guess I'm taking it anyway. I will always take an opportunity.
So do you have a philosophy that's really made you build companies and be able to have them do well?
No, I got no philosophy at all. I just do what I damn well please. That's the only thing. There's no philosophy to that. If I like it, I do it. If I don't, I won't. If I'm unhappy, listen, I've been married more times than I can count. When I woke up the first morning going, I don't think I love my wife anymore. I walk out that morning because everybody should. Everybody should. Because listen, I don't know how old you are, my friend, but if you've had any experience with the opposite sex, or if you're gay, the same sex, or if you like sheep, I don't fucking know about that one. But you do know this. That love, that intense thing which brings people together frequently, don't last more than 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 7 seems to be the magic number. And you do wake up one morning, many of you people, and that woman or man that you so loved, and that put your feet in the clouds and your heart singing, literally, songs to everything around you, that you're going to wake up one morning, that's not there. Because you based that marriage on something false. Lust, I would call it, because that does the same.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say people should not get married on lust. But
people don't know. People don't know the difference, because romance and all of this which strips your heart is the foreplay to lust. I'm sorry. Let's wake up and be real with ourselves, people. But in any case, yes, the instant I decide I no longer love, and I mean love, not like love, what I'm doing or who I'm with, I walk out like I walked out of McAfee, like I walked out of America when I realized it's no longer the country that I loved, the country that raised me in the 50s at the height of our infinite possibilities of business and creativity and entrepreneurism. That died with Dwight Eisenhower, and he warned us as he left office, the CIA and military-industrial complex are stealing your freedoms, and they will soon all be gone if you let this continue. And we let it continue. First president to challenge them after Dwight Eisenhower was Kennedy. He said, I'm dismantling you. A week later, that poor bastard was dead. Next one who was certain to be Bobby Kennedy, he campaigned on one thing: we're killing the CIA. They didn't even let him be president. They killed him before. Richard Nixon? Nixon did, by then people knew, do not mess with the CIA. So what he did, he just asked, please God, we need more information as presidents, please. Because the presidents have no power because they have to act on information which is owned, controlled, and flowed by the CIA. We all know this, and we are in the information age. He just said, I want more. What happened to him? He had to fucking resign. The messages they sent were, do not fuck with us. That's why we killed John F. and his brother. And don't even annoy us. Now, if you annoy us, we ain't gonna whack you. But you sure as hell not gonna keep this job. And since Nixon, no president has even dared annoy the CIA. And the CIA has had full reins in Second Gulf War. The CIA needed Saddam gone. Couldn't assassinate him because if they did, somebody worse would take power. The CIA sat down on Thursday and they said, we will have to bomb Iraq into the Stone Age. Ted and Harry, you know the president, make sure he does what we're asking. And you guys get the congressional team together and make sure it stands. And the one guy, Ted, goes, what do we say? I don't know. Make something up. Tell him they have nuclear bombs. I don't give a shit. But you make sure at 10 o'clock in the morning, our president is bombing Iraq. They go to the president, Mr. President, I hate to tell you, but we just discovered that Iraq has nuclear weapons and intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of reaching our closest ally, England. And Mr. President, it is a matter of the greatest urgency. We now know that they are planning possibly this weekend to nuclear bomb London. Sir,
Very
this is a matter of great urgency. We are not here to advise you. Now, so what happened? Next day he bombed them. Congress supported, yet every single person knew they did not have nuclear weapons. Good God, everybody knew, even we the people, except for the president and Congress, who are briefed by those in power, the CIA. Now, people, you got to watch this, wake up. It doesn't matter who's the president. Do you understand? They're puppets. They're in a car with a frozen steering wheel, and we're asking them to drive it somewhere. We are the idiots. Stop. It doesn't matter. Why are we arguing about Democrat, Republican? It doesn't matter if Trump is in there or if Hillary Clinton. Neither one has an ounce of power. Not an ounce. All power comes from information. You cannot manipulate or actuate power without knowledge. And the knowledge is all in the hands of the CIA. And it is doled out selectively or downright lies because we will never know the difference. Well, in the Gulf War, we found out afterwards, well, they had an excuse for that. Yeah, well, here's what happened, but we executed that motherfucker. Will never happen again. Bullshit. It will happen whenever it's convenient. Stop paying attention to the charade. Stop watching the play, people. It is to keep your attention from the truth.
All right, so now let's kind of go back to your story. How did you get involved in cryptocurrency? You mentioned it was mainly due to
Okay, that happened in 2009,
okay.
2010. A guy named James Aronski, a programmer who'd worked for me in many of my ventures, including McAfee, came down to Belize to tell me about Bitcoin and the blockchain. I immediately saw Bitcoin, and it didn't impress me that much. I could see the possibilities. I mean, it was the first one. It's still a kludgy, incredibly, impossibly unusable coin, but it proved the concept from which we had real coins like Monero with privacy, Ethereum with smart contracts, the DAO, the distributed applications. None of that's possible in Bitcoin. But I saw through the ridiculousness of it and saw that it could become something which it did. Not Bitcoin didn't, but cryptocurrency. And the blockchain is now used for every single application in the world. We, on the 1st of March, we have tokenized every member of Congress on the Ethereum chain, and we'll be listing them on the DEX, and we're allowing every American voter to go into the site and say, I want a Nancy Pelosi. That's fine. You only get one. I'm sorry. You can't vote for more than one. You can't vote for two people, right? And this is we're simulating the election, and we're listing them on the exchange. I mean, we're doing magic with the blockchain and crypto. Now, Bitcoin can't do any of that. Why does it have value? Sentimental. Okay, that's all. There's no real value to it, which is why I make fun of it and have. I mean, even to the ridiculous thing of it's going to hit $1 million. I said that because I knew that would get outside of crypto. That brought 100,000 new people into crypto, but no one in crypto believed it because it's impossible. Run the numbers: $1 million, 21 million coins. That is twice the gross domestic product of the North American continent. Do you see how utterly impossible that could be? And yet, people believed it. That's the problem. Also, we're naive people. You will believe anything. The year before, I said I fucked whales. We did all sorts of polls. Over 50% of the people believe that. Good Lord, people. The whales are 70,000 pounds, 50 feet long. They have tails that can crush sailing ships. They're aggressive fucking creatures. Now, and the vagina is 45 feet underwater. And they cruise at 6 knots. We can only swim at 3 max. If you're an Olympic swimmer, run the numbers. It can't be done. And yet people believed it. Bitcoin $1 million, nothing in the world could have been more ridiculous. And yet people believe.
Lots of fake news, as we say.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. You children are really disturbed.
So back to politics. So you've stated that you're running for president, correct?
For the second time, I ran in 2016 on the Libertarian ticket. I came in third for the nomination. Believe it or not, my first political foray. I will get the nomination this time, I guarantee it. But yes, I'm running again.
So how many nominations or votes do you need to get the nomination as a Libertarian?
No, I don't really know the convention. I'm trying to figure it out. There are probably 300 people there, probably 300. I don't know. So it's just like every other convention. You have delegates per state. You get up there, everybody talks, and then they all vote. I don't know the numbers. I really don't. I just know I came in third out of a field of about 20 people.
Now, what's your presidential campaign on? What's the philosophy of that? I'm guessing it's
it depends on what when you're asking. For all of last year, it was based on anal sex. So that was the joke. This year, it's based on cryptocurrency and the fact that we have tokenized all of Congress, and we're going to be running a simulated U.S. government, only accelerated, so that people can see the truth of our corrupt system. That's what we're doing this year. And that's my platform. That's the only one I have. Use crypto, free yourself some taxes. Everything else will fall into place.
Now, there's no concern if you're running for president while also running from the government. Then
What's the concern?
I
I'm
mean,
not, I'm not sure I understand.
just kind of, I guess, do you plan to travel to the U.S. to promote and
I can't.
do the
I
whole?
can't travel to the U.S. I'd be arrested instantly. We spent 7 months escaping the U.S. We're actually in hiding. They're that good at trying to catch me. No, I can't go to the U.S. But I
Now,
don't understand the question.
let's
What is the question again?
let's say hypothetically you win. You'd have to
Yes.
go to the U.S.
Well, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. If anybody out there thinks I have a rat's chance in hell of being president, move out of your mom's basement, people. And in fact, seek mental help. No, I can't be president. Why am I running? Because it gives me the opportunity to do what I'm doing right at this moment, which is talk to you
To market.
honestly and openly from my heart. That's why. And I got the national stage last time. I didn't even win the nomination. Prior to the convention, we were on John Stossel's on Fox News, an hour-long libertarian debate. The whole nation watched. And yes, I will get the national press. I'm John McAfee. I'm crazy. That's why I will get the press. They want me because I am always a car crash disaster sort of guy. I mean, people always go, God, do you know what McAfee said? Yeah. So the press is not the problem. So getting to the people is not a problem. Is it legal for me to? I don't care. I mean, how do you legally challenge a man's right to run for president? You can challenge his right to be the president. Oh, heck yes. One born in America can't come to America. He's wanted for murder, whatever. No, but you can't stop a person from campaigning and running. Isn't it amazing? Trust me, I know law better than anybody because I have been sued 209 times in 31 years, and I know what I'm doing. I'm legally, I don't have to come to America to run. In the debates and the Libertarian Convention thing, I'm doing it remotely, like I'm doing with you right now. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do, and I am not. I'm not going back to America.
So basically,
but I am running for president.
Put your message out there.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Wow. Okay, so tell us, what are you working on nowadays? I hear you've launched a DEX.
Well, yeah, we have the distributed exchange. That's my big thing. But I only built the exchange so that I could run the tokens for every U.S. congressman. Without the exchange, its tokens are meaningless. Binance is not going to listen. So we're listing them on the McAfee DEX, which has been up and running in beta for 4 months, and that bastard is solid. We've only got Ethereum and Tron now. We're adding Bitcoin in 2 weeks. We'll be adding EOS, NEO, and every other chain by the end of the first quarter. In March, we're putting those congressmen on our exchange, and we're going to go live. We're going to set them all to a penny and see what happens. Nobody makes money off of this. Certainly not us. We're giving them away for free. You just come on, pick the side. You've got your congressman's there. Yeah, I like Nancy Pelosi. I'll take that one. You only take one. You can't take Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders. That gives you 2 votes. Nope, I'm sorry. You got to vote. Now, you can change your mind, but you can only have 1 vote and say, hey, I've changed my mind about Nancy Pelosi. Is there a Ted Cruz you'd like to trade for Nancy Pelosi? Yeah, I'll do it. There, okay. Now I've got Ted Cruz. In that process, however, Ted Cruz may be more valuable than Nancy Pelosi, and I may have to pay 2 pennies to get a Ted Cruz. I only have to pay a penny for Nancy. Do you understand? The relative value of congressmen is going to be seen instantly in terms of the eyes of the voters, and we only need 50,000 Americans to sign up. We don't need all 153 million of you people to make a valid point. 50,000.
So the statistically restricted to Americans
sample
for that population?
Pardon?
So that
I'm sorry?
So only Americans will be able to participate in that simulation?
Well, yes, I'm afraid so. I bet we can't have British people voting in American elections. So we have to cross-check voting records. If you want a coin, you had better be American. If we find out otherwise, we will take that 1 penny coin away from you. I'm just saying. So that's all that we can do. It's not a perfect system, please. It's a simulation to show how our government actually works and how people's minds are moved and motivated by their attitudes and likes and dislikes and their ideologies.
All right, so let's talk about your predictions. So you've had lots of predictions out there, predictions on the price of Bitcoin, the predictions.
I haven't had too many. I've had a prediction on Bitcoin. I don't think I predicted anything except Bitcoin. When I started out a few years ago and doing the coin of the day, I wasn't making prediction. I was doing things like, I think so and so will get up to 2 pennies in a year or so. That's a prediction, so be it. But the Bitcoin thing, and that was simply an absurd prediction, playing on the fact that everybody knows Bitcoin is dead and everybody knows, at least in the crypto community, that it can't ever be that. And so therefore it was a joke, and yet that joke brought in, because for the first time, it was in the Times of London, the Guardian, the New York Post, the LA Times, everybody printed it. Why? Because John McAfee said he's going to eat his genitals if something called Bitcoin didn't reach $1 million. People go, Bitcoin, what the hell is that? Why is McAfee eating his genitals over it? And so suddenly, for the first time, he had outside attention, which we needed. That's why. Please God, people, if anybody thought that again, 21 million times $1 million is 2 times the gross domestic product of the entire North American continent, the most productive continent on this planet. And if Bitcoin were here for 10 million years, it could never achieve that. We all know it, let alone in 2 years. And then just to make sure, people go, what's it based on? I go, point set topology. It's a mathematical system that predicts financial systems. Well, yes, point set topology is one of my, I did study it in grad school, but it's the study of geophysical surfaces. People, you could have Googled it and seen the joke. Please. All right, please. You are naive and you frighten me as my children, because I got to leave this world in your hands, and you're making me very fucking nervous. Wake up, people.
Now,
just wake up.
So do you still stand by that, I guess, sarcastic or joke prediction? Or do you think Bitcoin thing?
Oh, no, I banned it in December. I let it out of the bank. And listen, people, I cannot believe anybody believes it. No, of course I don't stand by it. Bitcoin's not going to $1 million. It's not going to 10,000. And it's just not going. It's old, people. Jesus, it was old and useless within weeks. It was the first thing. It's a Model T automobile existing in a world of Porsches, race cars, limousines, off-road vehicle. No, it has no place with us anymore other than as an admired beginner. No, privacy coins, distributed exchanges, smart contracts, blockchains that actually do something other than just record a transaction, because that's all the Bitcoin blockchain does, people. I mean, really, I'm sorry to laugh. It just blows my mind. Here's the problem. You all want somebody to tell you what to do. Tell us what to do by yourself. If you're asking me that, I will fuck you over, because you need to learn a lesson on you. Can't advise you. And if you're looking up to or to someone else for advice, I don't care what it is, unless it's advice like, Dad, I got Susie pregnant. What the fuck do I do? Okay, that's good. You want to go to your dad for that? Do not make that decision between just you and Susie if you're both 18 years old, because I fucking promise you, Whatever you do will be wrong. So no, in those cases, yes, you fucked up. Ask your dad for help. But no, you just want help. You're not in any goddamn trouble. You want to get rich. Tell me how. Well, I'll tell you how. You don't. You take a fucking opportunity, and I am not an opportunity, people. I'm a ragged, tired old man that should be fishing by the Potomac River like George Washington wanted before he didn't want to be the president. Fuck me. No, he'd been the general of the Continental Army during one of the worst wars in human history, sleeping in ditches and holy shit. He didn't want anything to do with it. Listen, I did my job, but here's what happened. Who else was there? Thomas Jefferson? He couldn't find his glass. I mean, brilliant. But he couldn't find his glasses if he had to. He was the most disorganized person. Benjamin Franklin. Well, goddamn, all that man did is chase skirts, fuck, and drink. And he was brilliant? No. Who? It was George. I mean, that poor bastard must have felt that God hated him. He successfully did it. All right, I sent him home. I want to go and fish now. I'm an old fucking man. He'd had no teeth by then. His teeth were wooden. They're all gone. My teeth are gone. I want to fish. Leave me the fuck alone. But they shamed him. George, please get real, dude. Who? Look at us. Ben? Oh, can you imagine a White House full of hoes and brandy? Because that's what Ben is going to bring. Or Thomas Jefferson? Will he just fall down the fucking stairs and break his neck the first day in office? John Hancock? All that motherfucker can do is sign a good signature. Please, George, you are the only one. You're going to fucking do it whether you like it or not. And that was the truth. And he did. And he hated it. And he was one of our best presidents. What happens today, folks? We elect the guy who pays $100 million in order to get that job, paying $250,000. Well, to me, the numbers just don't add up. Whoops. Well, I'm sorry. My phone just went crazy for some reason. Anyway, so no, we're stupid. Who in their right mind votes for a person who absolutely, yes, I spent $100 million to get that job. And listen, how many people are that altruistic that I want to serve my country so bad? And then you go, oh, but he didn't do it, his supporters. I don't give a shit who did it. Somebody is paying $100 million for this job, and you're going to elect them? You stupid children. Wake the fuck up. You need to elect that person that we have to drag kicking and screaming into the Oval Office to go, no, no. We go, motherfucker, you are the best one. I don't give a shit. 4 years, you can tolerate it, all right? That's what we need. No, we elect the manicured faces and images and charisma of our leaders and let them buy the fucking seat. If someone wanted to pay $50 for the job, I would sit him down and say, dude, what the fuck is happening here? Wait a minute, you want to pay $50? I don't get it. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. Wow. Wake up, kids.
Yes, wake up, everybody, wake up. Okay, so we do have some questions we typically ask our guests on the show. I'd like to ask these questions to you. The first question is, what are the top 3 books that have changed your life?
I can only name one. That's The Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection by Charles Darwin.
Darwin? Good one. Good choice.
That's it. The only one. And by the way, I've never met another person who's read it. 1,800 pages of what looks like boring shit.
I have.
Did that open?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
No fucking way, dude. High five.
High five.
You're the first man. You are the first man who has ever. Whoa, dude. Now tell me something.
Yeah.
Now,
so
let me tell you.
The book because I read The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins. So And I've also
Yes.
read The Red Queen by Matt Ridley. So I like books on evolution and natural.
Well, me too. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
but I haven't read any of those really. For me, Charles Darwin. I mean, for example, people go, evolution can't happen. The chapter on how the eye, as he saw it, evolved from nothing. I read that and I go, who are you, dude? Because you saw the truth that the human eye had to evolve. It simply had to, mathematically, chemically, genetically, in every way. There's no way it could not have happened. And I'm going, how did you figure that out? But the eye was the best way, because that's the thing people, how could something as complex as an eye? Well, in 50 pages, he sure tells you. And at the end of it, there is no way you can possibly deny the truth of it. Yes. Only one book. Next question.
all right. Next question. Who are three people in history, whether people you don't know or just haven't or have read about, or people you've actually met that have changed your life? So three people that have changed your life.
Listen, the people who changed my life more than any other, I'd say Janice. Well, that's a life changer.
That's your wife?
My first wife. Yeah, my current wife, Janice. Yeah. My first wife, Fran, she changed my life. The police officer who arrested me for my first drug arrest in 1971. I mean, there's lots of people who changed my life.
How can you kind of speak more in terms of how they changed your life or how they made you change?
Well, I mean, spending time in jail changes everybody. And the officer had the choice. And the officer had the choice of not doing it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He chose to arrest me and charge me. That was his choice. My first wife, don't forget them. So Janice, if anybody knows our history, 7 years for the first 3 years, she was trying to have me kidnapped, all right? Working with her ex, working with her pimp, or still pimp. Because she was a prostitute when I met her for 10 years. And, that's a life-changing experience for a man if you think not. If your wife is trying to kill you, have you kidnapped or whatever, that's life-changing, right? More so than any person in history that could possibly, like, I don't know,
interesting. So
Jiddu Krishnamurti or Jesus Christ, or no, trust me, they'd have had tiny impact compared to these women.
So question. So if she was trying to have you kidnapped, you still stayed with her during that?
Of course. Listen, if you're going to hold trivial shit like that against people, then please live alone. I'm just saying. If you're going to have money, because the world changes when you have money, you have no more friends. It's impossible to have a friend with money because you can't tell. Friend from Parasite, they all smile the same. They all care for you the same. You are their meal ticket. Trust me. They treat you like God. So you lose friends. You have no friends. You're totally alone. Of course, you expect your wife to try to make some capital on this. $500,000 here, $500,000 there. Of course, she's just God. What would you expect? I just choose to dance with it rather than live alone.
Okay, very interesting. All right. Next question, which is pretty much the last question. What are 3 actions you took that changed your life? I think you covered.
It's impossible. Every action you take changes your life equally. Whether we terminate this in 2 minutes or 5 minutes will change both of our futures. It will. Whether or not I choose to get up at 2 o'clock to take a leak or at 2:30.
Yeah, but the actions that impact more, like for example, when you started McAfee, that has really changed your course of history. So when you
You said for me. You said for me, not for other people.
Okay.
I thought you meant change my life. Oh,
yes,
fuck.
yeah.
I have no
you.
clue. You'll change my life? No, it's not shit. You think that changes? Jesus, God, let me tell you what changes your life. Here's an example. I'm in Mexico in 1976 with my girlfriend, Barbara Zotz, and we just bought some weed in Mazatlan, and the guy who sells it to us, we're traveling in a van, hands it to Barb and says, who's going to hold it? And Barb says, I will. So he hands it to her, we pay, and we leave. And my mind's going, who's going to hold it? Who's going to hold it? In all my years of buying drugs, no one has ever asked that except cops that suck you into buying. We hadn't gone 10 seconds. They'd give me that. I shoved it into my pants. 45 seconds later, there's a roadblock. Pull us over, and the guy says, you have marijuana. They reach in, grab her purse, dump it out. It ain't in there. They now do a thorough search of the car. So there are only two options. It's found, and I'd still be in jail, because back then, 25 years minimum for possession of marijuana in Mexico. 25 years. That's number one. And number two, they don't find it. So that, I promise you, that tiny little word that he spoke, which changed my life, 1,000,000 times more powerful than anything that I have done from a business standpoint. Please, God, wake up, people. Do you think success and money is what's important in your life? If you do, check yourself into a mental hospital or live in a cave and leave the rest of us alone, because no, that shit does not matter. It's simply an opportunity you grabbed. And that opportunity that I grabbed on, whoa, I never heard that, give it to me. Both of us would have died in a Mexican jail. That's life-changing. All McAfee did is put money in my fucking pocket. People, no change to me. So yeah, the most profound event was a man saying, who's going to hold it? And actually, I've got many more if you'd like to hear them.
Yeah, please do. I'm out of questions.
No, we don't have time. It's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing. Tiny things which changed my life. Big things don't change your life. Please, people. The bigger the thing, the less impact it will have.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Any last words?
You're welcome.
Wrap up?
Yes, do what you love, nothing else. And I mean that. You wake up in the morning and you suddenly no longer are excited about going to work and go, well, work, stop, quit. You wake up in the morning, you look at your spouse and go, God, we used to be so in love, and you're not. Pack your bags now. Don't say goodbye, say nothing, walk out the door. If you're running a large company like McAfee, and you wake up one day and realize that any chance you have of being happy there is now gone, because you're the CEO. You have bigger responsibilities, stockholders, boards of directors, personnel, marketing, money. No, I didn't sign up for that. When I saw that I could not get it back, I didn't even say goodbye to anybody until I got home and told my wife, pack your bags, we're going to Mexico. Then I called chairman of the board and resigned. Hung up on him, didn't answer the phone for weeks. No, you have to do that, people. You have to do that. If you don't, you're wasting the most precious gift that this universe could possibly conceive. Life and your participation in it. And I will leave you with that. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, John McAfee. It's a pleasure. And everybody can follow him on Twitter and everywhere he's on. With that being said, thank you for watching the 100X show. Until next time, the moon is not the limit, to the moon and beyond.
All right. Thank you, my friend.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com. Disclaimer: Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments. nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.